Ladies and gentlemen, today we're Dragon Tan here, and he's going to tell you what's the latest development with the rental market. You must watch on because many of you are renting out your property, and this one is an important news you got to hear.
Hello, everybody. Long time no see. Dragon Tan here.
Okay.
Good to see all of you.
For those who don't know Dragon Tan is a longtime friend of mine, very trustworthy, and he's a real estate professional, and he's actually knowing what's happening on the ground. I try to bring him every month or every 2 months so that you get a pulse of what's happening. You won't know anything from Mr. Lu about property because I'm not good in it. I also need to learn from him. That's why we got him here to give us the pulse of what's happening on the ground right now.
Okay, thank you, Sifu, for invitation. Okay, Sifu, so what do you want to know, or what do everybody want to know?
Okay.
I think first and foremost, right, the market is quite cui for renter. The overall rental
when you
market
say
in
chui,
Singapore.
what exactly happened? Just now you're telling me about your own life story.
Oh, okay. If let's say you have followed our video on 1M65 since 2021, 2022, I've been bullish about the rental market. That was a time where the market is almost at a peak. So currently, over the last 1 year, there's an increased supply of around probably more than 20,000 project as DOP.
So that's from when to when?
The whole of last year, there's a supply of 20,000 or probably even more of projects as DOP. And of course, we have
This condo, right?
Condominium, yes,
Condominium.
private
Okay.
properties.
Okay.
So with the increase in supply, we start to see the rental start to soften. But is it the whole Singapore? Not really. Unless it's in places like the tertiary town like Clementi, where there's a NUS, SIM, Liam, even Singapore Poly, where there's a strong so-called influx of foreign students there renting the place. Probably the rental will hold. And in places like Jurong West, Tuas area, where there's a strong employment catchment area. But for places like, for example, in Sengkang, let's say apply for my cases, I've seen the rental.
You have a EC there, right?
Yes, I have my so-called rented unit there. I actually rented my second property, which bought through my wife's name in 2 years back. So at that point in time, the rental was as high. It's a 3-bedroom, as high as 5,500.
5,500.
Correct, for temporarily 6-month rental.
How big is your floor area?
1,033 square feet.
5,500 in
5,500.
Sengkang.
So around 6 months.
Wow.
Eventually it was rented to Amor,
Okay.
Australian couple,
Sure.
for around 4,800 for 2 years.
Sure.
And that was on a 2 years diplomatic cross. So what happened is that over the whole of last year, there's been a lot of complaint, uproar that the cost of living and operating a business expenses in Singapore is very expensive.
And that's true.
Yes.
Don't say Amor. We all Singaporean also feel it.
So what happened exactly is that early this year, the Amor or the company actually exercised the diplomatic cross. So the Amor has to be relocated back to Australia to continue his job. And as a result, after 40 months of stay, he decided to leave my place. And eventually, my place was right now rented at around $4,000. So from 5,500 to 4,800 right now is $4,000 in Sengkang area.
28% fall.
A lot. That's a lot. And let's not forget,
is that normal?
I think that's normal. We have seen rental softening. If you catch the newspaper article in Straits Time that is featured a few days ago, even the HDB rentals start to soften. But then to say, normally the media often report statistic just probably 1 quarter later. So this has been happening since the beginning of the year, actually. And if you follow our video back then, many months back, probably early this year or even last year, I've started to predict that the rental market will soften. And very sian because interest rate is still high. So there was one time where the interest rate actually shoot from 1% that is in 2020, 2021, all the way to 4+% last year, until that we decided, or my wife decided to do a refinance at a fixed rate of 3.1 recently, few months back. We started to bring the overall rental to around 3,000 plus. But let's not forget, there's this MCSD $300, property tax $300+. So typically these days, if you rent your condominium, don't expect to have a good 1,000 or 1,500 good positive cash flow. But of course, there are a lot of operators doing co-living, where they partition the living hall into bedrooms.
Is that allowed? Is there like how many people max can stay in a place?
Okay, typically, of course, there'll be a restriction on the number of pets that is stay in the available unit itself. It's just that they try to increase the overall rental by partition the living hall or the spacious living hall into 2 bedrooms, so that each bedroom can generate another $1,000. So 2 bedroom, another $2,000.
I see. Okay.
I've encountered cases where in Simei area, where they do co-living operator, a 3 bedroom they partition into 6 bedroom, and
3 bedroom because 6 bedroom.
Correct.
Okay.
And the 3 bedroom probably the market price is around 1.4, 1.5 million. And after partition, right, the overall rental rather than 4,000, 4,500, it become 8,000.
Oh.
That's crazy.
But that's almost making your house into a hotel already.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
okay.
these are what of the co-living operator are doing right now.
I see.
But of course,
Is that common nowadays?
very common.
I see. Okay.
Every time when I have
That's a great idea, right? For everybody who's willing to consider.
question is that rather than the landlord is dealing with one tenant, probably you have to deal with multiple tenant. And because it's a co-living, it's something like a room rental.
Yeah.
There'll be times where the tenant will break lease after 6 months or after a few months. So you have to tahan. There'll be probably some time seasons of dry spell where probably 1-2 months you need to find new tenant again.
I see. What is the law on short term? What's the minimum a person can
typically it will be 6 months.
6 months.
Yes.
I see.
So
Okay.
ideally it's 6 months. That's what the landlord are looking at. Landlord are
see.
not looking for the short term 1-2 months.
I see.
I think that's not
Of
possible.
course, everybody want as long as possible.
Correct. Yeah, this will be against the law as well.
I see. Okay. So sorry, on that note, what is the law stipulates minimum?
So typically, the law stipulate on 6 months, basically.
I
So
see.
typically, what we have realized that most of the landlord do not want to entertain for short term. It's because they want stability here.
Of course. Of
Correct.
course, of
And
course.
let's not forget the cost of reinstate, right? The so-called the partition back at the end of the lease. Normally, the co-living operator go for 3-year lease
I
because
see.
they need to factor in the extra cost.
Okay.
And then of course co-living they throw in chambermaid services as well. They help to clean the area.
Now I understand.
Ah,
Okay, let's say in your case, someone lease from you the whole house and redo every house,
Yeah.
the whole house into many rooms.
correct.
Okay.
They provide cleaning
Then
services.
they control all the tenant, not you.
Exactly.
Wait, is this legal or not?
Okay, so far this is not considered illegal as yet. Yeah.
Because it's still okay. This is sublease.
It is like a sublease as well.
It's a sublease, right? Yeah.
Provided the landlord is willing,
Okay.
let the co-living operator come in, or otherwise, typically most of the landlord will be unwilling to the so-called part their house to a co-living operator because the profile of the tenant that's in out is unpredictable. We don't know who is coming in next to stay.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. That's one way of increasing the rent value.
Correct.
Yeah.
Some landlords are doing themselves as well.
Yeah.
Which I have
But
encountered.
you got to handle all the tenants
Yes.
and things like it's almost like running a service apartment.
Exactly.
And things like that.
It's a concept. That's why you start to see the government, they start to have government land sales where part of the land sales will be part of the area or the GFA will be allocated for service apartment.
I see. That's interesting. So rental has been falling. Actually, you mentioned demand as well. So it is both a supply and demand issue. Supply is going up by 20,000 units. Is it still going up?
The
this
number of
year?
supply, of course, it is still there. We have projects has been TOP.
Is it still
Correct.
more coming up?
Not as many as last year. Last year was where there's a lot of
20,000,
massive
right?
launch like Tampines, Treasure at Tampines, Florence, Riverfront. So it's quite a big thing.
Okay. So is this year more coming up and next year more coming up?
Okay. So I think it's quite stable for this year and next year as well.
Okay.
Now
So when you say stable means got unit coming up or less unit coming up or same unit
no,
coming up?
typically it's because of the few we need to understand a few elements here.
Sure.
Another element to take a look is which I showed you just now was the population growth.
That's true.
So the population actually had a growth probably in 2022 to 2023. There was an increase of around 5.6 million all the way to 5.9 million.
That's because we attracted a lot of all this.
Correct.
We opened the doors and let a lot of the
That
foreigners
was
come
back
in.
in 2022. So if you
Correct.
remember and you follow our video, we talked about, wow, okay,
That's
it was
true.
crazy, the rental
That's
market. In 2022 May itself, where we started to open, so the population actually increased by around 300,000 over a span of 1 year.
Okay.
And that's a time probably supply cannot cope
Okay.
for the rental itself. And that's why a lot of houses, the prices just shoot all the way up. But right now, with the increased supply in the market over last year, the rental tend to soften. So right now, interestingly, is that what I mentioned to you, Sifu, I'm looking forward and very curious to know about the population growth, which will likely reported in September itself.
Your gut feel is that you'll be flat, right?
Because I'm on the ground and then so far there's no statistic available. On the ground, I have this view that a lot of expats are leaving Singapore.
Yeah, tahan Singapore.
They're
Too
relocating.
damn expensive.
Yeah, a lot of Indian expats.
Don't say foreigners. Singaporeans also want to run to Malaysia.
Exactly. Especially those expats who are doing IT and they're from India. A lot of them are relocate back to Bangalore, where there's this mini Silicon Valley, something like Google is there, and relocate back, and probably they're paying the local package over there in India rather than in Singapore.
And your Ang Mo tenant also
Going back to Australia.
inflation refugee, right?
Okay. I really don't know what happened.
I see.
Probably there's a lot of reason,
Yeah.
but he was telling me that the reason why he was relocated back was because of the high cost of expenses that the company
tahan.
support him.
Yeah, really can't tahan. Yeah, really can't
A
tahan.
commercial pilot. Yeah.
I see. What about HDB rental?
HDB rental, if you follow the news just 2 days back,
Sure.
you will notice that even the HDB rental is softening as well.
Oh, really?
Very quiet. No, so it's unlike lah, Sifu. It's unlike now. Okay, for the agent cannot tahan. You know why cannot tahan?
Why?
Because I just renewed my property guru package with I pay $19,000.
You're
only
kidding.
Property Guru is
19,000.
no Property Guru 不便宜 leh.
哇
很贵 leh. So I just renew my package is 19,000, which I need to spend on the marketing as well.
Yeah.
But without Property Guru, nothing can move as well. So what happened is that why is it we tahan for a lot of rental agents?
Sure.
Because what used to be rented out within a day or within a weekend, now we have to spend the effort to market for probably 2 months. So the cost
Wait, you're talking about rental or sale?
some rental can go unrented for around 2 months as well.
Oh.
I have a neighbor whose house is putting out for rental for the last 3 to 4 months, and there's no taker as well.
Because it's too high expectation or what?
Question is that it's because when you're selective on the type of profile,
Of
you
course,
want
of course.
Amor, but how many Amor are there in Sengkang itself?
Nowadays, I'm more bolu already. Yeah. Not as rich.
Yeah, depend
I
on
don't know.
the job and profession.
Okay, that's true.
So so it depends. And probably if let's say your house is so big, like 4 bedroom or 5 bedroom, the aspects don't come in big family. Probably they come in a small family size. They just need 2 to 3 bedroom, which 2 and 3 bedroom and 1 bedroom are the easier flat type to sell. But having said that, the price is softening, so it take effort to rent the
I
houses as
see.
well. And for agents who really have Property Guru package, and then you need to tap on Property Guru to market for 2-3 months just to rent the unit, the marketing cost is very tahan. Sometimes
Wow.
it's just break even. Sometimes it's, to be honest,
Almost lose
just
money.
because of the relationship with the client, it's like 做个人情而已，
Yeah.
没有赚钱的，
On this note,
没有
okay,
赚钱的。
he has been in a profession for very long and he's very, very, very committed to his work. Just remember this, if you need real estate professional services, go look for Dragon Tan. I'll put his number somewhere here, and don't look for Mr. Lu. I don't know why you all write to Mr. Lu. Mr. Lu, I want to sell my house. Can you please help me sell? Not, you know, as if I'm in partnership. I'm not. He's selling. I'm not. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
师傅，
I'm not good enough.
one of your follower actually texted me today. I think he WhatsApp me.
Yeah.
He asked me to sell his unit at Tangga Bay.
Oh,
But
really?
typically, I to be honest, I don't specialize into Malaysia property.
Oh, Tangga Bay.
Tangga Bay, yeah.
That's a bit.
So typically, I just tell him that I can't help you because I really specialize into the Singapore property.
Okay, you need Malaysian agent services. I recommend my Malaysian agent to you.
Right.
Okay, and then anyway, that's a
No, that
different
we
thing.
went into Malaysia for house hunting.
Okay. Anyway, so what do you see right now moving forward? You know, moving forward, is it a market that for rental? Do you expect the market to recover in terms of rental, or market to kind of be flattish?
Okay, if the population don't really grow as much or probably remain flat and more aspects are going back or relocate back because Singapore is too expensive to operate. And then of course, coupled with that, we have more house supply that's been in Singapore that is available for rental or being TOP. I think that the market will be heading south all the way throughout the second half of the year. This for the rental market itself. It's very sian for landlord. Because I'm a landlord, I'm very sian because given the high interest rate, you don't see any positive cash flow. Unlike the past where you can rent 5,005, interest was only 1.6%. I still can see $1,000+ of cash flow. Not now.
Right. So in summary, what Dragon has shared with us is that number one, the rental market is weak right now. And because of the high interest and low rental, do expect your cash flow from rentals to be very limited. Okay. It depends, of course, how much your mortgage is as well, right?
Unless you're keeping to hold for as long as 20, 30 years, then so be it, just stay put. Doesn't matter.
Yep. And the other one is that he do expect the softness in the rental market to continue for some time. Okay. If the high cost of living is expected to be there and interest costs are expected to be high. And interest costs, I can take a view. I think the interest costs will remain high. Interest rate is expected to cut, but not by much. Okay, not by much. So I think interest cost is expected to be high as well. So I think this is a very interesting insight. You know, we thank you, Dragon, for sharing with us this insight. Let me know some of your experience as well. And put it in a YouTube comment. Always remember to click like and subscribe to my YouTube and join us on discussion on our Telegram channel. And remember, don't look for me for real estate services. I don't know why so many of you all look at me. Go look for him, okay? Yeah, no, don't look for him. He's good. I'm not, okay? Yeah.
I'll see you there.
Yeah. All right. So just to wrap up, no? Thank you for this wonderful video. We have another video to talk about the resale market of HDB and condo in the next video. We'll see you then. Bye bye.
Yeah. Okay, bye bye.